The most inbred human being ever documented wasn't the product of some isolated accident. She was born from 2 centuries of deliberate, church-approved uncle-niece marriages by the most powerful dynasty on Earth. Her bloodline killed 700,000 people. The Habsburgs ruled half the known world for 600 years. Spain, Austria, the Holy Roman Empire, and for 2 centuries they made one decision that rotted every throne from the inside. They married their own. Uncle to niece, first cousin to first cousin, over and over with papal dispensation granted every single time. The church signed off, the courts signed off. Biology did not. Between 1450 and 1750, the Habsburgs contracted 73 marriages. 4 of them were uncle-niece pairings. Each generation doubled down on the genetic wager the previous generation had already lost. They called it keeping the blood pure. The body called it something else entirely. Here's the mechanism, and it's not complicated. Every person carries recessive genes. Most of them are silent, harmless. They sit there because you've got a healthy copy from the other parent doing the work. But when both parents share the same ancestors, the odds of 2 broken copies meeting go through the roof. The inbreeding coefficient, designated F, measures that probability. An F of 0 means no inbreeding. The average European in the 1600s sat around 0.001. A child born from full sibling incest scores 0.25. Maria Antonia of Austria scored 0.3053. More inbred than the biological product of the most forbidden human mating possible, and her family arranged it on purpose. The 2009 Alvarez study published in PLOS ONE analyzed a 16-generation pedigree over 3,000 Habsburg individuals. The finding? Inbreeding reduced offspring survival by 17.8%. A 2024 follow-up found that highly inbred Habsburg women died after childbirth at 2.36 times the rate of their less inbred counterparts. The Habsburgs kept better records of their horse breeding than their human breeding. The horses, at least, were evaluated on whether they could function. Maria Antonia's mother was Margaret Theresa of Spain. Now, if you've ever seen Las Meninas by Velázquez, the little blonde girl in the center, the one in the silvery dress looking straight at you, that's her. She was 5 when he painted it. She was also already promised to her uncle, Leopold I, Holy Roman Emperor, her mother's brother. Velázquez painted her multiple times before the move to Vienna. Each canvas served a function. The pink dress as a toddler, the blue dress at 8, Las Meninas at 5. These paintings were sent north so Leopold could monitor how his betrothed was developing. A series of masterpieces commissioned so a man could inspect his niece from a comfortable distance before collecting her. Margaret Theresa arrived in Vienna at 15. She called him uncle because that's what he was. 6 years of relentless pregnancy followed. 7 conceptions, 4 live births, 3 dead before they could sit up. 1 survivor, Maria Antonia. Margaret Theresa died at 21, 4 months pregnant with her 7th. She's buried in the imperial crypt beneath the Capuchin Church in Vienna. Her daughter would join her there in less than 2 decades. Maria Antonia was 4 when her mother died, 9 when her father remarried for the 2nd time. By the time she was a teenager, she'd lost 3 mother figures and watched her father cycle through grief, remarriage, grief, and remarriage again. At 16, her father forced her to sign away her claim to the entire Spanish Empire, the largest inheritance on Earth, in favor of her half-brothers. She signed because it was the price of being allowed to marry at all. Her husband was Maximilian Emanuel of Bavaria, a warrior, a charmer. The marriage was miserable. He kept a mistress openly. When he was appointed governor of the Spanish Netherlands, he took the mistress and left Maria Antonia behind. She was pregnant at the time. Her first two sons died within days of birth. The third, Joseph Ferdinand, survived. Maria Antonia did not survive him for long. She died at 5:30 in the morning on Christmas Eve, 1692. She was 23. The cause was likely puerperal sepsis, the same bacteria that killed roughly half the women who contracted it before antibiotics existed. For a woman with her genetic burden, the mathematics were even worse. That 2.36 hazard ratio the 2024 study confirmed is not a theory. That is a death sentence written in the bloodline. This is Biological Deviations. If you want the next one, subscribe now. Joseph Ferdinand was 6 years old when Europe decided he was the answer to its most dangerous question. With Charles II dying childless, Spain and its territories needed an heir. The two candidates were Habsburg Archduke and a Bourbon prince. Giving Spain to either one would trigger a continental war. Joseph Ferdinand was neither. He was a Wittelsbach, Bavarian, the compromise candidate. The Treaty of the Hague in 1698 named him heir to the entire Spanish Empire: Spain, the Netherlands, the Americas. The son of the most genetically compromised princess in Habsburg history, about to inherit the largest empire on earth. He died at 6. Seizures, vomiting, loss of consciousness. The official cause was smallpox. Those symptoms are consistent with smallpox. They're also consistent with arsenic poisoning. Poisoning rumors spread within hours. Bavarian circles accused Leopold I, Joseph Ferdinand's own grandfather, the same man who had forced Maria Antonia to sign away her Spanish claims 14 years earlier. Nothing was proven. But with the boy dead, the treaty collapsed. The War of the Spanish Succession erupted in 1701 and burned across Europe for 13 years. 700,000 people died because a family couldn't stop marrying its own relatives. The war settled exactly what the treaty would have settled peacefully. It just took 700,000 corpses to get there. Now here's where this stops being a history lesson and becomes a mirror. The Habsburgs believed in a blood purity. They believed that keeping the lineage closed preserved power, preserved identity, preserved the divine right to rule. They called it purity. The Bible says the opposite. From the beginning, the design was diversity. Every genetic study confirms it. Inbreeding doesn't concentrate strength. It concentrates failure. The recessive mutations stack. The immune system degrades. Reproductive viability collapses. Now, the Alvarez study proved that Habsburg children died at a rate that exceeded peasant infant mortality. The people they called commoners had healthier blood than the dynasty that claimed divine authority. When man tries to build a pure bloodline, he creates monsters. Black metal spent 50 years mythologizing bloodline purity. The Habsburgs spent 2 centuries living it. Both collapsed for the same reason. The obsession with keeping something sealed always destroys what it's trying to protect. Maria Antonia's sarcophagus bears a Latin inscription. It calls her a princess most illustrious by birth, marriage, offspring, and death. A second line reads, she met death with Austrian piety, 2 months after childbirth, like the dawn that extinguishes after birthing the sun to the world. The Habsburgs knew how to write a beautiful epitaph. They didn't know when to stop marrying their own relatives. The most dangerous thing you can become is a closed system. Subscribe for more creepy science, dark history, and bizarre facts. Learn hard, live loud. I'll see you in the next one.